Located in the Lake District in the north of Italy, Bellagio is one of the world's most beautiful destinations, a picturesque wonderland famous for its staircase streets and waterfront promenade. We'll show you the highlights and explain how to get the most out of your visit. The old town is characterized by narrow streets and picturesque winding alleys, most of them staircases lined with charming shops, cafes, and restaurants. It's a great place to wander and explore. When you arrive in Bellagio, the first staircase street you're going to see is the biggest and best of all of them, Salita Serbelloni. If you're only going to walk one staircase, let this be the one. Salita Serbelloni is just 125 meters long, so you'll soon arrive at the top. Good place for pictures and a nice view looking back down the steps. Here we have a typical scene with a wine bar on the left and a restaurant across the street from it. Trattoria San Giacomo, perched right at the top of the staircase with a nice view looking out. With all these pedestrian lanes, the town layout is like a medieval village. But here it's somewhat unique with that lakefront setting and the large number of staircase streets. You'll find many scenic places for those all-important selfies. It's a small village, just 200 meters from one end to the other, but within that area, there are many little lanes to go wandering on. The Bellagio waterfront promenade offers stunning views of Lake Como and is lined with more of these charming shops, hotels, and restaurants. There are these lovely cafes along the arcades of Bellagio. You want to sit down and have a snack, maybe have lunch right here. In the old days, the portico was the center of life in town, and it's still a busy place with those shops and restaurants sheltered by the arcade. At the end of the porticos, you will reach Via Roma, which provides a more gentle way to walk up the hillside rather than those staircases, leading you to the upper street, Via Garibaldi, and the main Piazza della Chiesa, with the Romanesque Basilica di San Giacomo, a church from the 11th century when Bellagio was the most important town on the lake, the economic and fishing center of the area. Because of the importance of the church and large size of the open area, this is generally considered the most important piazza in town, with a medieval tower on the other side that was once part of Bellagio's now disappeared defenses. And at the base of the tower is a very popular restaurant. People line up to get in here. The piazza also has a casual cafe, and there's a few shops around it. The town's busiest commercial street extends out from here, the Via Giuseppe Garibaldi, extending about 200 meters with shops, cafes, and restaurants along both sides of it, on a path with beautiful cobblestone paving and a level terrain to enjoy a casual stroll, with those staircases coming up to it from down by the lakeshore. And this street is really the longest and most important commercial street in town. It has the most shops and restaurants. Along the way, you will find numerous stores and boutiques selling local merchandise with clothing, jewelry, a ceramic shop with the traditional styles of local decoration on practical items you might want to take home. Some with that lemon motif illustrating one of the main crops of this area, and several gourmet food shops with items that you can take away for a picnic, perhaps get some beer and wine, some cold cuts in the salumeria. There you'll find all sorts of cheeses and cold cuts and beverages to go. Hams, mushrooms, truffles, all in this traditional food store that's been here for more than 50 years. Or right across the lane, there is another excellent option. Step into this casual, delicious, inexpensive restaurant called Die Viga Fresh Pasta. Homemade noodles with friendly service and an efficient system where you go to the counter and choose from the different types of pasta and sauces, place your order, then sit down, and they will bring it to you pretty quickly. Have some gelato or a coffee on Via Garibaldi, which provides access to everyday services like shoe stores and accessories. creating a shared space where residents conduct daily errands while tourists browse. This wide lane on the upper edge of the town can be a good place to get away from the crowds. From here you can plunge down any of those little side lanes back to the lakefront, along those steep streets, which are the defining characteristic of Bellagio, as you'll see on the map. Here are the waterfront porticos and the upper main shopping street, along with the connecting hillside steps, especially those 3 main staircases. As we have already seen, Salita Serbelloni is the busiest, and there are 2 more of the main staircase streets, Salita Mella and Monastero, both of them quite lovely to walk on. Since we're now on the upper side of town, it should be quite effortless to pick a lane and walk downhill. We're going down Salita Monastero, which has that lovely smooth cobblestone and flagstone paving typical of the town. You'll see it's sometimes a staircase and other times a gentle ramp, depending on the terrain. About halfway down Monastero, there is a cross street called Via Centrale, and this has a few more restaurants, and it connects over to the adjacent staircase lanes on both sides, called Centrale because it's right in the middle of the town. Via Centrale does make a few zigzags as it cuts across town, and it actually connects 7 of those staircase streets that run perpendicular to it. The green line shows the route that you could take if you really wanted to walk every one of those staircase streets up, down, and around in a complete exploration of Bellagio. As we continue down Salita Monastero, these have to be some of the nicest outdoor staircases you've ever seen. They are so well made and easy to walk on. There are no elevators in town and no escalators, so it's all muscle power. You walk up and down. It's the challenge and the fun. It's a good feeling when you see the bottom of the staircase is not far away. You're almost back down to ground level. Some people looking up, wondering if they should make the climb. Go for it. So you can go up, across, back down again, just wander at will. It's a little bit of effort, but the steps are pretty shallow. Quite easy to climb these steps. You can see Bellagio as a day trip coming up from nearby Milan. Of course, you want to add in some more time for popping into the shops and having snacks and then maybe having lunch. So you could easily keep busy here all day and into the evening. In that way, you are getting the most out of this opportunity to explore such a magical place. And now we complete our exploration of the 3 main staircase streets going up Salita Mella, which we saw briefly earlier. Now we'll climb it to the top. You'll notice that the staircase and the town in general do not look very crowded, and that's because I was visiting in the shoulder season in late October. At that time, the weather is quite nice with comfortable temperatures and chance of the occasional brief shower. And the bonus is you can avoid those crowds of summer. So if you can, arrive here in the off-season. Another reason the staircases are pretty empty is that many visitors don't bother to climb them. They think it's too much effort, or they might climb up part of one staircase and that's all. But as you've seen, these steps are pretty easy, and they really are a big part of enjoying your visit to Bellagio. And here we see at the upper level, rather than a staircase, it's a gentle ramp. You've got cobbles on the sides and nice flagstones in the middle for very secure footing. These winding hillside lanes are so beautiful, you would probably enjoy walking every bit of them, with a complete route covering about 2 kilometers, and the hill is not very steep. We've made it to the top of Salita Mella at Via Garibaldi, and now we're going back down to the promenade and show you another one of Bellagio's hillside lanes, Salita Grandi. Not many shops on this one, but there's the Hotel Bellagio. This staircase lane is typical of those other hillside routes that are relatively smaller, but worth exploring if you've got the time and the interest. Tourism got started here in the early 19th century when wealthy families from Milan began constructing their elegant villas and gardens. Tourism gradually increased right on through the 20th century, and then in the 21st century, like other popular places, it has greatly expanded. So get here soon before it gets more crowded. You can reach Bellagio on your own by driving, or from the city of nearby Como, you could take a boat or a bus. They each take about 45 minutes with a price under €10. Or you could take a 1-hour train ride from Milan to Varenna on the shores of Lake Como, and then a 15-minute ferry ride to Bellagio. You can see Bellagio is at the northern end of Italy, about 30 kilometers or 20 miles away from Switzerland. Our visit is coming to an end, but we have more videos about Bellagio and other beautiful towns in the Lake District of northern Italy. Look for them in our collection. You'll have a grand view looking back at the town with that sweet sorrow of departing, knowing that you have experienced such an incredibly magical and wonderful place. There is nothing exactly like Bellagio in the entire world. We frequently upload new movies, so please subscribe to our channel and click that little alarm bell so you'll be notified. And if you enjoyed the movie, how about a thumbs up? And we always welcome comments down below. Or if you have questions about the destination, make note and we'll answer them. Thanks for watching.